Hi, and we are live. Welcome to another Learn English with Football live. This is a live YouTube show where my guests and I talk about football, especially the Premier League. It's also partially an English lesson. Sometimes I explain vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar as we talk, but I try not to do it too much because then it could take over. It should still be a discussion. We've got Nrup here tonight. Hello, Nrup.
Yo,
You need no introduction because you are a regular on this show.
indeed.
But for those of you who have not seen you before, what's your name again?
My name is Nrup, N-R-U-P, Nrup.
And where are you from?
I'm from India.
You're from India, yeah? Okay, wonderful. I'm from the Czech Republic. My name is Zdenek, and this is my YouTube channel, by the way. And I'm an English teacher, and recently I started teaching English through football. And who are you, Nrup? Are you an English teacher yourself?
I wish I was your colleague for English teaching, but no. I'm a fellow student who studies health science in Charles University in Prague. And right now, as my hobby, I sometimes just like to join podcast and experiment. Get
Yep.
just try to get away from this busy university life.
Yeah. So this is for you. This is a way to kind of unwind, to do something different for a while, to take a break from your study life, which must be tough. Studying to become a
Definitely.
doctor, I can imagine it's a lot of work. So if it looks like I'm not looking at you, that's because I'm also talking to our next guest,
Super.
who wants to join us tonight, but I think he's struggling to get in. But it's gonna work out in the end.
Let's hope
Yeah,
for the best.
just like Arsenal might win the league.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Bad comparison there, I think. Right.
Terrible. But yeah, it's okay.
All right. Well, it's possible that some people might be watching us live. I don't think they are here yet, but at some point they might come. And if they do, obviously, this is a live show which normally happens every Monday at 8 p.m. Central European time. And part of the reason there are no people here is because honestly, I'm doing it the next day. Some things got in the way, so I couldn't do it on Monday. And I think people are confused about this. So I apologize if you're watching this later on. The live show was happening on Tuesday instead. I don't want this to be a regular thing. Hopefully, in the future, it won't happen so much. All right. So we are here to talk about football, and I'm still trying to get hold of my other friend, obviously. But Noop, just tell us if you what games you watched this weekend.
Well, I watched only Arsenal versus Crystal Palace complete game, but I did look at the highlights for Liverpool versus Norwich, and then you had Man United versus Leicester, and you had Tottenham. I think I forgot which team was it. I believe it was Watford. No.
What there was Watford Liverpool. That was the first match of the weekend. Watford Liverpool. Did you see that game?
Yeah, I did. I had to look at some of the goals because Liverpool has been just goal gallerying all the time. So just wanted to see how good their team is.
Yeah.
Salah, he's been world class. So interesting, just for
I
some
actually
entertainment.
yeah, I agree. I actually do want to talk about this game quite a bit because we should have someone who supports Liverpool here tonight.
Wow.
But I think there is a bit of a struggle of trying to get in. But hopefully, it will work out in the end, and we will have a first-hand analysis from an insider. And he's here. Hello.
Hello. Sorry, I had to download Google Chrome.
Oh,
So that's why.
Well, you made it in the end.
Yeah.
Ram.
Yeah, my nickname is Rammer. So I just put my name as Ram.
All right. Well, your name is Paul, right?
Yeah, my name's Paul. Yeah, Paul Ramsey. How do you say your name?
Zdenek.
Zdenek.
Yes.
And Nrup.
Yep.
Yep, that's right.
You both have 2 consonants at the start of your names.
Which is unusual for English, obviously.
Yes.
I mean, these 2 specific consonants are quite unusual. There are obviously things like SK, like sky, yeah. But when it comes to these 2 consonants,
you don't often see it at the start.
No.
Well, you don't see it.
I don't think you ever see it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have you here, Ram.
Oh, it's nice to be here. Yeah.
Yeah.
In cyberspace. Yeah.
So I've literally just introduced myself, and I've introduced Nrup introduced himself. So would you mind telling us a bit about yourself?
Yeah. So my name's Paul Ramsey, and I love football, and I've been an English teacher. Me and you, Zdenek, we seem to do similar things. We kind of met this week on Instagram.
Yep.
And we try to teach English using football topics. So that's what I try to do, really. Yeah, I'm a Liverpool fan, but I try to be neutral on my Instagram and try to be neutral. It's difficult to be neutral sometimes. And and I make videos on YouTube every week. I've been doing it for a couple of years.
Tell us the name. Tell us the name of your YouTube channel, please.
My YouTube channel is called English for Football Fans. Not very imaginative, but I did have the name Footy Talk. But I also thought I'll just make it nice and clear. English for Football Fans. Thank you, Zdenek. Yeah, that's the name.
Okay.
Yes.
You're very welcome, because I like to reach out to like-minded people, and I've literally just started with this niche, and when I saw the number of followers you have, I was like, "Woo! I need to talk to this guy. He seems cool."
Well, yeah, I've been doing it a couple of years now, and it's growing. It is growing slowly. YouTube doesn't recommend my content because I don't think YouTube knows where to put it, whether to put it in like education or sport. So yeah, but people seem to like the idea, and they subscribe to the channel. Yeah, it does seem to be going up.
Okay.
Not everybody watches the videos, but the subscriber count is going up.
We're glad to hear that, obviously. And it's fantastic to have a Liverpool fan on as well, because we are both Arsenal fans here.
Both of you Arsenal? Okay.
I wouldn't count Zdenek as an Arsenal fan as of now.
I am. I still am.
Okay.
I've recently come out on this show that I secretly also support West Ham now, but it's I'm still an Arsenal fan. It's just because we have been so shambolic as of late, it's a bit difficult for me to identify with the team. And on the side, I'm also kind of cheering for West Ham because I like the way they play, and they've got a couple of Czech players there as well, and I'm from the Czech Republic, so it's a bit. It's like I've got a bit of an identity crisis there with that team, you know.
So if Arsenal played West Ham and Souček scored, would you be happy?
That's a tough one for me. Yeah, that's a really tough one for me. you know, I'll tell you what it comes down to. Yeah. So last year they played each other. That was like towards the end of the season, I believe, or something like that. And at that point, Arsenal were nowhere near any chances to qualify for Europe or anything like that. So I was like, well, I don't want to support this team anymore. So in that match, I was like, I don't care if West Ham win and Souček scores a hat-trick or something. Yeah. But if Arsenal can win the title, then it's a different story. So it's I'm a bit ashamed because I know, you have to be loyal to the team you support. And I've been supporting my team for a long time, but at the same time, I'm not happy about what happened with the Super League. There are some aspects of the management of the team and things like that I'm not very happy with. But anyway, and also when you mentioned that you have to be a bit neutral as well, since you teach English through football. The same thing, I realized the same thing as well. So it's kind of nice to have different fans of different teams here. And this is just because Nrup is my friend. Otherwise, we do have this Chelsea fan here occasionally.
Okay.
And we have had a Bristol City fan here on as well. So, yeah.
Oh, it's good that you've got a good team on then. A good, a fan from a good team then. I'm joking. No, Chelsea are a good team as well. And Arsenal. I like Arsenal. Arsenal are a good club. Especially, they always play good football. I like Arsenal as a football club. I think there is a little bit of respect between Arsenal generally and Liverpool.
I agree. I think it's because of the history. Because, like there are other teams that we don't respect so much, that don't have such rich history as our clubs. Would you say the same, Nrup?
Definitely, I would say that Liverpool, Arsenal, great teams, good fans actually. Even though some people they would actually quite overrate our fans and stuff. I would say our fans have been quite good. Good managers, good stadiums. You know, quite good. The situation has been quite good actually.
Yeah, well, that's what you say. I beg to differ, but
no, come on.
Now you are the out of the two of us, you are the positive fan. Always, Nrup is always positive, no matter what happens. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that game that we've just drawn against Crystal Palace, and I'm pretty sure I'm telling you, you watched it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure that Nrup is going to be very positive about that. I'm like, well, it's a draw. Well, listen, let's start with the first game of the round, and that was the Watford-Liverpool game. I think the kickoff was it something like 1 p.m. UK time, something along those lines?
12:30.
Yeah. So I assume as a Liverpool fan, you watched the game, yeah?
Of course, yeah. I did. I had my girls all day, so that was the only match I watched on Saturday. But yeah, I think I missed the first 10 minutes, but Liverpool dominated from start to finish, I think, and fully expected. And then Mo Salah scored he scored the two best goals this season, I think, in consecutive matches.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Liverpool are on form. I think Liverpool are playing well, and I think we will be okay this season. I think we will be okay. I'm confident. I think we might even break Arsenal's invincible record this season.
Come on, that's not going to happen.
That's quite debatable.
That's very unlikely, and not because of Arsenal, but because it's so tough to pull something like that off. Yeah. But I agree when you say Liverpool are on form, which is, by the way, a very nice phrase in English. If you're on form, you're doing well, you keep winning matches. There is another informal expression. You could say on fire, right? You could say Liverpool are on fire. So what do you think about this, Nrup?
Definitely. I completely agree with Ram regarding how the Liverpool has been. The team has been great. You guys have the best defense now in the Premier League, I would say, in my opinion, with VVD and others. I think Trent has been injured, but still, really, you can just see how it doesn't make that much of a difference.
He did just come back, didn't he? He did play in this game.
Who? Sorry, Firmino.
Trent, Alexander-Arnold.
Trent played. Yes.
Yeah, and I would say the next game versus United, I would be looking forward to see how the game goes, because United has been in bad form, so they're looking for the motivation, and Liverpool has been on form, so one is looking for the biggest flow and one is in the flow. So it's going to be one good game. I hope it's not an ugly draw. Ronaldo versus Mane, Salah, Firmino. It's going to be really good. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Sky Sports will give it the big build-up this week. I think they were talking about it last night. But usually then they're not very exciting games, really. But as you say, Nrup, I hope it's exciting. I hope two teams try to attack. Liverpool have not done so well at Old Trafford under Klopp, and I hope, this match they do well. Yeah, I hope they put in a good performance, and if they do, they should win. But I think Manchester United and the fans, they will be determined to win this match. It's their biggest match of the season so far. If a lot hinges on it, if Solskjaer does lose this match, he could lose his job, I think, or he would be under more pressure. The fans would be not happy if he lost this match compared to any other match in the season. If they lost this match, the pressure will build on Solskjaer. So
even without all this context, it's always a massive game because you are such massive rivals, right? Liverpool and Manchester. How far away are these cities from one another? Is it like 30 miles or something?
30 miles, yeah. I work in Manchester. I work at a university in Manchester at the moment.
Okay.
So I hope we win. So it'll be nice to go to work on the Monday.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Are you already bantering about this game with your mates or with the colleagues?
A little bit. I don't work with many people who like football, and I just go in and teach my lessons, really. I don't speak to many people. It will be nice too. And if we win, I will be making sure that everybody knows that we win where I work. Yes.
Yeah.
What do you think? Who do you? Liverpool are the favourites, but Manchester United can easily win. I think it's a football match; anything can happen.
Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when there was the North London derby, Arsenal Tottenham. I guess a lot of neutrals didn't even expect us to win, but we were just fired up for that game so much. That's why I think, even though Liverpool on paper obviously are the favourites, and United are the underdogs, and there are so many problems now, and we can talk about the match if any of you saw at least highlights of that United match against Leicester. But I think it just demonstrated what's really happening now in United. Whereas by comparison, Liverpool battered, absolutely hammered Watford. It was an away game for you. You won 5-0. You mentioned the Salah goal, and that was it like 2 weeks after he scored a similar goal against Man City? Two fantastic goals, and both equally just world-class finishes, and also he had to go past several players, incredible skills.
Yeah, it was an incredible goal. I think the Manchester City one was better. How about you? Which goal would you say was better?
Did you see them, Nrup? Did you see the Salah goals?
Yeah, I definitely saw. I think the Salah goal was much better in my opinion.
But which one?
Which
one?
The
one he scored against City, or the one he scored against Watford? Do you remember that?
The one he scored against City was my personal favorite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mine too.
Was quite good.
Yeah, it was a bigger game, bigger moment.
Yeah.
He's taking on world-class defenders, Watford defenders. I don't think they didn't cover themselves in glory, as we say.
I like this phrase. They didn't cover themselves in great glory. I have to write it down. This is what I do here as well.
Sorry, I know, it's good. Football. Sorry. There's so much language in football, Zdenek, so much vocabulary.
I love it.
This is why I started my channel. I started my channel 2 years ago because I love football. I'm an English teacher. I've taught English for a long time. I've worked in lots of different countries, and I always connect with people about football. When you go to a new place, you can instantly talk about something. Where are you from? Okay, you're from Liverpool. Oh, okay. And then people love Liverpool around the world. There's lots of passionate fans around the world. But I couldn't talk to them. Well, they couldn't talk to me. I couldn't talk to them. We would just say, like Peter Crouch, just say players' names to each other for 10 minutes. Yeah, and so it was some communication.
Yeah.
I realised that nobody teaches football English. It's not taught in textbooks. It's the world's biggest sport. And there's so much specific vocabulary, but also it's a good topic to get people practicing and talking about something that they're passionate about. So, yeah, I thought, well, I know, I'll try to teach people the language. And it's good to know that you're trying to do it too. Because
Absolutely.
I think it should be used more in language teaching. I don't know why it's not used. Well, a little bit I do know. I know there was an MP, there was a Conservative MP, politician, who said a couple of years ago that football should be banned from the office. You should not talk about football in an office environment because it promotes a bad culture in the office.
Yeah.
And I think that's bullshit. Sorry. And
no, of course it is. And also, just like it is bullshit if some people say, "Oh, English fans are terrible. Did you see what they did in the final?" Come on, it's just a few idiots. That doesn't mean the whole nation is like that. Like, this is just like, come on. Like, there are so many polite fans and just passionate people who really love their club, but we can talk to each other like this. Yeah. Okay. We wind each other up a bit about the games, and it's just part of the culture. It's about banter and all that. But we would never hurt each other. Of course, there are a few idiots who are like that, but they would do it in any other industry, to be honest. So, like, it's unfair. If football gets this reputation is just unfair. Like, completely
Folks,
unfair.
I'm pretty sure that the MP meant American football and not normal football.
Nice one.
Yeah, that's bad.
Just going back to that phrase that you used, Ram, I don't think they covered themselves in glory. I believe you used it when you were referring to Watford defense, but I'm not sure.
Defenders, really. So it's an understatement, really, isn't it? It's again, it's this British way of talking and trying to be quite he's not the best player in the world. They didn't cover themselves in glory.
Yeah.
So it's usually used in the negative form. It's not usually used as a positive. Oh yes, they covered themselves in glory. It's not usually used like that. It's used in the negative.
That's right. So it means they didn't really do a good job defending, basically. Yeah. That's the meaning of it here in this context. Yeah. Well, they scored. There was even a player that scored a hat-trick, right? Firmino.
Yeah. Bobby. Yep. I'm in Bobby's bar now. I'm in a shed at the back of my garden.
Oh, lovely.
There's Bobby. Behind the bar.
But most of his goals were just tap-ins, right?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, he couldn't miss.
I mean,
that tap-ins.
Still better than I don't know. Still better than Timo Werner, I guess. There are people who can't even do tap-ins. I think tap-in is a big quality.
Would you say, Nrup, would you say that this is sometimes about skill as well, because the player has to find that space, be there at the right time in the right moment? So do you think there is a bit of skill about that, or is it just always about luck? Or
No. I don't think it's about luck at all. I think it's about execution. You have to be quite sharp to be a tap-in. When people say he's a tap-in merchant, I think, to me, that's, in my opinion,
Sterling is a tap-in merchant.
To me, that's a compliment, in my opinion, because you score goals. That itself is more than enough. You just shut them out. That's it. So yeah.
So of all Premier League players, who do you think is best at scoring tap-ins?
I would say, as a player, Harry Kane. Harry Kane is a good tap-in.
He's in the right place at the right time. I don't think he gets close to the goal enough now, Harry Kane.
No.
Since his team has become quite weak, he's been assisting and becoming more of, all-rounder. Yeah. I've seen him defending a lot as well, so it's a pity.
Oh, he doesn't have a choice, does he?
Yeah.
It's got to be Sterling, the tap-in merchant, surely. Who do you think, Zdenek?
I don't know. That's why I asked you. But well, I'm wondering. The first name that came to mind was Harry Kane, but that's little bit unfair as well on him, because if you say this player only scores tap-ins, that would suggest that he doesn't ever score world-class goals, which I don't think it's true about Harry Kane, because he has a
he's got a great shot,
powerful shots, and he's just. Of course, he's a little bit like that. Yeah, he's a bit of a poacher, I think is the word, poacher.
Yeah.
But that's not a bad thing at all.
No. This comes from hunting, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Mm-hmm. Okay.
He's a slotter. He's a sniffer.
Sniffer, yeah. He can sniff goals.
Slotsman. There's lots of bagsman. There's lots of phrases we have in Liverpool for strikers who score goals. Yeah.
I like that.
Slot machine.
What's that?
He is a slot machine.
A slot machine, as in the fruit machine. Okay.
He likes the slot.
Nice.
He's a bagsman.
Nice one. Well, that was a really easy game for you. Watford
were terrible.
Yeah,
it was an easy game, but yeah, I think Liverpool. I think we will be okay this year. I'm feeling confident. It can all change. We can get beat tonight. We're playing tonight. We can get beat on Sunday. It can change very quickly in football, as Arsenal fans know.
Yep.
So, but I'm feeling okay at the moment.
Wow.
If we stay injury-free, even if we get beat tonight, which can happen, playing Atletico Madrid, even if we get beat on Sunday, which can happen at Old Trafford, I still think we will be okay.
Yeah, you have a great team, and it seems to be great atmosphere in the team, and a fantastic manager. Like, what a manager that is! Such a class.
What a guy! Yeah, what a guy! Yeah, and it's all because of him. The football that we play.
Yep.
I think. I don't know what you think. If you're not watching Arsenal, what team do you like to watch in the Premier League, or what match do you like to watch, or what team?
Because of this English football, I actually started watching more games. So it gave me an interesting insight. And personally, I can't get enough of Brentford right now. It's just incredible. Okay. Last season it was Leeds for me, but this season it's like Brentford. Oh my God! Like, I don't know whether you saw the Chelsea match, but Brentford were all over them.
Were they?
And they got so lucky that they managed to win that game, Chelsea. You have no idea. In the second half, so Chelsea won 1-0, and in the second half, Brentford, they had like 15 shots compared to Chelsea's 1 or something like that. It was a siege, an absolute siege.
Completely.
Yeah, had a good team. Sorry, Nrup.
No, I was saying completely agree with this. Brentford have been the team. I know people were bantering about how Brentford, some team who just got promoted, defeated Arsenal in the first game, and then the moment you saw them beating the likes of other top teams, Leicester, I believe, and they drew against Liverpool, 3-3, I believe, and then people saw how dangerous they can get.
Yeah. They defend well. They've got some good defenders, and they get men forward. They get people in the box. Yeah. So I didn't see the match, but I did hear that they put Chelsea under the cosh. There's a phrase for you, Zdenek.
Yeah. You will have to spell out the word cosh for me, because I'm not sure I know it. So they put Chelsea.
They put Chelsea under the cosh.
Under the cosh. How do you spell that word cosh?
COSH.
Right.
So a cosh used to be a punishment. Well, to be under the cosh. It was a punishment in like hundreds of years ago. A cosh is like a baseball bat. So hooligans take a cosh to a fight.
Right.
You take a cosh, and the police used to give this punishment to be under the cosh. So it means to be under pressure, to be dominated. But Americans they don't say this in America. They say under the gun. And again, in a sporting context, somebody is under the gun. They like guns, don't they? And then
they do.
In Australia, they use under the pump.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's used in sports as well. I think there was some kind of punishment involving water spray or something to be under the pump. But under the cosh is a big football word in the UK. Yeah, people say it a lot. If you listen to post-match interviews, British players use it a lot. And yes.
Okay, moving on. So would you say that Leicester City managed to put Manchester United players under the cosh, Nrup?
Definitely. I think Manchester United is going through what Leicester was going through all this time. They were poor in so many games. Below, I don't know, they were, I think, below mid-table. They were 11th, 12th position. And then the moment United game came, the big game where they have to show everything, this was the moment when they took it and boom, 4-2, unbelievable. And I think United might do the same thing against Liverpool, but let's see what happens. Yeah.
I just Paul Pogba in midfield. Like, what do you do with Paul Pogba? If you had the team, would he play for you? What do you think? Where would you play Pogba if you were his manager?
I would play him as as a pivot.
As the holding midfielder.
Yeah.
At the bottom of the pivot.
Mm-hmm. But I would say he would be more like 8 and 10. So he would be transitioning as a 10 during the attacking time and as an 8 during the defensive period. Something like what Wilshere and Ramsey were for Arsenal. How they were
in a midfield 3, you would play him. You would play like 2. You would have a double pivot. You would have 2 holding midfielders and Pogba as the attacking midfielder.
No, I would say I would have Pogba as a midfielder, and then I would have a defensive midfielder, and then I would have an attacking midfielder who can play in the wings.
So would you say like a box-to-box midfielder or something?
Yeah, classic. That's what Paul Pogba does, a box-to-box midfielder.
Interesting that Ram asked that question because I guess he has got some kind of answer for us. So tell us.
I wouldn't play him. He wouldn't be in my team.
That's interesting.
He's brilliant. I think he's a brilliant footballer on the ball, and his passing is exquisite sometimes.
Yeah.
But just watching him run around the football pitch is laughable sometimes. I'm watching him thinking, what's he doing? Even for France, I know people say, but for France, he's brilliant and he's won the World Cup. But he's lucky he plays with Kante. He's lucky he plays with some good players for France because I watched the Nations League. Was it France versus Belgium? Belgium, the semi-final. Not the final, the semi-final, sorry. I didn't see the final. And in the semi-final, Belgium, I think they were winning 2-0 in the first half. And it was Pogba and Rabiot in central midfield. Pogba was just couldn't get near anybody. Couldn't get near any of Tielemans, De Bruyne. There was so much space. And in the second half, they turned it around in the second half. But it wasn't because of Pogba. It wasn't
It's interesting. I do have a soft spot for Pogba, I have to say. I especially because of the passing range ability. It's just incredible. For me, the way he always wants to find his teammates, it's just he's always looking for that key pass, key pass, which is something I really admire.
He's brilliant on the ball. You cannot fault him.
I think Paul Pogba would start in any team.
I wouldn't start in Liverpool.
I know, but generally speaking,
like Arsenal, maybe he might start in Arsenal. Let's be honest. Nope.
Yeah, definitely. As a striker, probably.
But he did bag a couple of assists at the beginning of the season. It was like 4 assists, right? 4 assists in the first match or something crazy as that.
I think, yeah, he in the first match he beat his total assists for Manchester United in 3 years. I think he got 3 or 4 assists, as you rightly said, and he got more assists in that match than in his career for Manchester United. He's a good player. He's a very good player. I just think you cannot play him as in a central midfield position because he is a liability. He doesn't position himself well.
I agree. He's not perfect. It's interesting, actually, what he said after this match. Obviously, to remind you, Leicester won it 4-2, and Pogba said that he was sort of referring to the fact that they need to find what the problem is.
It was strange, wasn't it?
It sounded really interesting, as if he's trying to say something. Like if there's some kind of an underlying meaning, I don't know. Was he suggesting that the problem is the manager, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Do you think that's what he was saying?
Yeah, it was strange. I agree. It was a strange interview. So it's been happening for a long time, I think he said, and something needs to change. We cannot keep doing this. It's the same situation, and it was a bit of a cryptic message, possibly. Yep. But I think it's him. I think he's a part of that problem. I think the Premier League's too fast for him. I really do. I think he has good moments, like brilliant, outstanding moments, but just generally the pace and the physicality of it is too fast for him.
Yeah, maybe it's just about the players he has around him, as you said as well. He also said that they lack maturity, which is weird because they do have some experienced players, and those players that actually made mistakes were Maguire, and there was Ronaldo as well. How old is he? 36? There is enough maturity in the team. What's that about? Maybe in the way they played, I guess, but in terms of the age profile, I don't think they lack maturity. They just Leicester were just the better team, you know. They turned the game around. Although if you saw the highlights, there were some fantastic goals on both sides in that match. Did you see the Greenwood goal?
Yeah, nice.
That was world-class finish. And then Tielemans, the Belgian midfielder, scored for Leicester. That was an interesting goal as well when he bent it.
Wow, it was incredible, yeah. I think the standard in the Premier League this season has been really high.
I agree.
Nrup, may I ask you a question? Do you think that the reason for this is because of the difference from what was before the COVID situation, and then now everybody's excited to play in front of the fans again? Do you think that has a part to play in that?
Definitely, it has a huge role. The fans, also the incoming players, and with the way VAR has been doing this season, I think this is the season where Premier League, I would say, is the best in the world, and I think will be the best for a good time, until there isn't any more controversy
involving Arsenal, most likely.
Yeah.
You know what?
I think it was a bit controversial, the equaliser last night for Arsenal.
Oh, you think so? Why? You're just trying to mess with us. Come on.
It was when you took the corner, it was already past the 4 minutes injury time. And then the corner got cleared. And then the referee carried on playing on, and then a couple of passes and the ball came back in the box. I thought after the ball got cleared, the referee should have blew his whistle. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I was just watching it because I had a bet on Crystal Palace to win when Arsenal were winning 1-0, and I thought, and everybody was saying how good Arsenal were, but Crystal Palace played well against Liverpool 2 weeks ago, and I think that they're doing well, and so I just thought it was 10-1 for Crystal Palace to win, so I put a bet on Crystal Palace to win.
Mm-hmm. And they missed arguably their best player, right?
Yeah, Zaha. Yeah, well,
Zaha,
Edouard did
Zaha.
well last night, I thought. Yeah.
What do you
So
think,
yeah,
Nrup? So we are talking about yesterday's game. Today's Tuesday, so
Hmm.
on Monday there was a game that we're talking about now. It's Arsenal against Crystal Palace, ended in a 2-2 draw, a late equalizer, as Ram has pointed out. So what do you think about this game, Nrup, then?
I watched the whole game, and the moment Arsenal had their first goal, I was quite pumped up. The first 15 minutes, Arsenal were the team that I loved. But then later, Arsenal just lost their tempo. Everything was shambolic, and Crystal Palace just showed how they play against big teams, because I think they had quite a good record against the big teams this season,
Yeah.
and they quite have had a tough season as of now. And Patrick Vieira, he showed that how the team can perform without Wilfred Zaha, who has been the player with most tackles in Premier League.
Ah.
So,
he's
yep,
been tackled the most.
yep.
Oh, right.
So,
I thought he was okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
So I think Crystal Palace has done quite good job. And what else? Towards the end, I think when Lacazette came, I saw some last minute energy from the team, because Lacazette was quite pulling the strings together, and he brought lots of chemistry in the team, lots of
Yeah.
energy, and I think he deserved it. The goal, everything what happened, he deserved it. Although 2-2 was a bad score because of two shambolic performances by our defending midfielders, who I really admired. But I'm not sure. I think this was quite bad, quite bad. They shouldn't
Like
have.
Party.
Partey and Lokonga, both the goals
Oh,
were from
Lokonga,
errors.
yes.
Well,
Yeah,
he's a young player.
Yeah.
He's
Mhm.
he arrived
I
this
know,
summer, and he's a
I
young
know,
player.
but
So I
it's
think
Premier
we need
League.
to give Lukonga the benefit of the doubt. To be honest with you, Partey, I guess I can't remember if they made any mistakes. These two players in particular. But you think overall they didn't handle the midfield well then, Nrup?
No, the goals were legit errors. The goals
Okay.
were from them being dispossessed in our half, and it was easy goal. And I believe if they had been more possessive with the ball, and passing smartly and being more aware and more physical, I think we wouldn't we I don't think we would have considered those two goals. I don't think so. We would have been 2-1 up or 2-0 up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah, they were bad mistakes. You're right. I think Crystal Palace, as you say, I grew into the game, and when they were getting beat 1-0, they needed to push forward, and it looked so they needed to score a goal. But Arsenal were not keeping hold of the ball long enough, and it was just they were just giving it back to Crystal Palace all the time. And that's been a feature of Arsenal in a few games, I think.
Yep.
And where
Totally.
Lacazette came on, Lacazette can hold the ball up, he can keep it. Yeah, so
Can you blame some Arsenal fans? Maybe not Nrup, because Nrup is always positive, but can you blame them that they want Arteta out, because we haven't actually beaten Crystal Palace in a home match for 4 years? Did you know that, guys?
No way.
For 4 years, Crystal Palace. We're not talking Liverpool, Chelsea, or Man City. We're talking Crystal Palace. Okay, a
Crystal Palace
traditional.
were Liverpool's bogey side for many years, to be honest. They always used to beat Liverpool. Yeah, I remember going to Anfield and Crystal Palace always beating Liverpool.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know about Arteta out. Sorry, what do you think? Nrup's positive. You want to keep Arteta?
Definitely, I would like to keep Arteta, because you have to be humble. Like Arsenal is a team that doesn't act like how Chelsea does. Like I'm not saying Chelsea is a bad team, but like how
Yeah.
Chelsea does, they don't trust the process of the manager. Boom, sack him, take
They're
another
ruthless.
manager. For
Yeah.
them, that is, yeah, this ruthless
Mhm.
behavior of Chelsea is what makes them elite. But for us, I think it's more about trusting and more about relationship, and that's what makes us elite. and that's what gives us an identity as an Arsenal club.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm Arteta in, and it's not just about Arteta; it's about the whole board and everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I respect that point of view, obviously, but I'm not sure I identify with it. But you are right that there is this culture that Arsene Wenger kind of brought, right? It's about togetherness and being smart, and not necessarily about the power of finances, as we can see in other clubs. When going back to the game, Ram, you said Crystal Palace grew into the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very, very interesting use of the verb
Mm-hmm.
grow into a game. So that basically means that Crystal Palace were the worst team, Arsenal were on top, but gradually, slowly but surely, they managed to get on level terms, or started to play better. Basically, yeah, they
Yeah.
grew into the game. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
They did, and they're a good football team, and I think they have improved. I think they're the most improved team this season, possibly. I cannot think of other teams. I think they have improved their style of play this season.
Well, there's another interesting match, probably the last one today, that I want to talk about, and that's, I didn't see this match though. It's the Wolves game. So Aston Villa Wolves, Wolverhampton Wanderers. So Aston Villa were 2-0 up in the second half. I think it was the 60th minute or something. And yet Wolves managed to turn it around and won 3-2, which is incredible. An incredible turnaround, an away game. So did you guys see the highlights from this game?
No, I have no idea how the goals were, how the match was, but I was reading the tweets and how people commented. It was quite impressive. I think this match was classic Premier League match. How you just don't leave the game immediately. You watch it till the end because you never know what can happen. This twist in the tail. So yeah, typical Wolves. Typical Wolves and Aston Villa. They have been poor, but let's see. We face them on Friday, so we'll see.
Aston Villa.
Yep. Arsenal versus Aston Villa.
I think Aston Villa should have won. From what I read and from what I saw, they dominated most of the match, had all of the chances. John McGinn was outstanding in midfield. He scored a nice goal. It did deflect. It was a deflected goal. But then in the last 10, 15 minutes, as Nrup said, it's never over in the Premier League. And Wolves threw caution to the wind, I think, and they just started. It was 3 set-piece goals, I think. There were 3 set-piece goals, Wolves goals, and they were all... I don't think it mightn't have been the first phase. They might have been second phase or third phase, but they all originated from set pieces.
Yeah.
And yeah,
the last one, the winning goal, that was just a stroke of luck, really, because it was a massive deflection. One of those that the keeper is like, it's going in the direction of the keeper, and then the defender deflects it.
Was it the free kick, Neves?
Yeah, I think it was. It was the free kick in the 95th minute, literally the last kick of the games, similar to that Arsenal game when Lacazette scored, and it was an absolute heartbreak, obviously, for Aston Villa fans. But I have just checked. You said, Nrup, that Wolves have been poor lately, but I've checked their latest games, and they won 4 out of their 5 games. I know that they didn't start off well, because I think they had something like, I can't remember exactly, but they lost a lot of matches at the start of the season. But then the last few matches, they are coming back. They're showing their teeth again.
Yeah, they're a strange team, Wolves, this year, with Espirito Santos leaving. They had an identity last year. For the last 3 years, this is how Wolves play. You knew their formation and how they would play. Boring, really, I thought. Good. They did well against teams, but they were boring. But this year, I don't know what their style of play is. I think they've been a bit lucky in some of the matches, like Aston Villa, but they have some talented players, and they're missing a few players. Neto is not playing. Traore, I don't know if you saw his run. versus Villa.
I can imagine, because I remember
Wow.
Traore. It's just he's Usain Bolt. He's not a football player. He's a sprinter.
Honestly, he did a run in the match against Villa from his own half. Like, it was an Adama Traore run.
Yeah.
But he thought, oh, he's going to score. He's going to score. He ended up in front of the goal, and it would have been better than Salah's, to be honest.
I didn't see the goal, but
No, he left. Yeah, it's good.
But I know Adama Traore has got like 100 out of 100 in FIFA. Like, I don't play FIFA, but I've seen it somewhere, because he's just the fastest. He's just the fastest player ever. It's just incredible, fast acceleration, and you can't catch him. It's impossible.
He runs away from fast players. Like, if you're playing in the Premier League, you're fast, and he just runs away from them.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
He's rapid.
Okay. So
I said Crystal Palace are maybe the most improved team, but Brighton as well. Brighton are like high in the table. They play nice football. I don't know about most improved, but they look a really solid team this year. They have a good defense, and they play nice football. But they drew 0-0, so let's move on.
Speaking of the table, this is what the table looks like, yeah. So when you said this season seems very exciting, well, look at how close to each other the teams are. Yeah. So okay, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City. Yeah. There are only 2 points between these three teams, and then you've got 2 points behind them are Brighton, Tottenham. Tottenham, how can they be so high up? They have -3 goal difference, and
that's because they started off really well. Yeah.
And then you've got United, West Ham, Everton, all at 14 points, and then Brentford, and then Arsenal in the 12th place. Nrup,
yeah, but it's just 11.
There?
I mean, it's just 11 points. So if you win against Aston Villa, I think, and one of those mid-table teams even draw, we just boom, rise up. It's not a big deal, actually. It's just the beginning of the league.
We're 8 points off the top.
Good optimism, Nrup.
It's okay. I mean, you have to be humble. I know. I don't want to show those alpha big mentality team. You have to be humble. Our team has been poor, and we need to do something. Be supportive.
All right. Yeah. Well, we will see what the future holds for our teams. But it's been a real pleasure to have you on, Ram, as well as Nrup.
Sorry for talking too much.
No. That's exactly what we want here on this show. So.
Yeah. It's a great chance to practice English football. Yes. So check out Zdenek's channel. You make videos, don't you?
I'm still learning how to make videos, but I think this is a great show. I like this because we talk about the Premier League and the matches that were played. So hopefully there are other football fans and our viewers who have seen these matches. So it's a great connection there. I think that's the idea of this show, basically. But the videos, I mean, I'm still learning. What about you? How about your videos? I've seen some where you were reading words from the newspaper. You were like reading phrases out from the newspaper. Those were really great.
Yeah, I sometimes just get the newspapers from the UK and just pick out vocabulary from newspapers. It's quite difficult, the vocabulary in newspapers, but it's useful. It's natural English. So
no, absolutely, it's English.
There was a TV program in the UK so the Italian football is back on. It's on BT Sport, so I've been watching a lot of Italian football. But when I was younger, there was a TV program called Gazzetta d'Italia, Gazzetta something, and it was about Italian football. And a British guy, would sit and have a coffee and read the newspapers in Italy and talk about. It was a really good program. It was when Gascoigne and a few other British players, David Platt, were in Italy, and it was a great program. So I was inspired by that.
Yeah, but also from the teaching perspective, there are a lot of teachers out there who have no idea what they are doing, but you do, because you take vocabulary from context And that's exactly how you have to teach English, not by saying, I will teach you 10 useful idioms about something, blah, 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 and then you explain the idioms. Yeah, no, that's not the way. This is how you do it. That's why in this show, it's a lot of multitasking for me, but when I hear interesting phrases from you guys, I try to put it up on the screen. Yeah, that's the idea. And that comes from a natural conversation that we are having, and that will... because it comes from psychology, that will make it much easier for the learner to remember that idiom, rather than if you just randomly like teach 10 idioms from football or something. This is excellent, actually.
True. I agree. And the big thing about language learning, it's the social aspect, I think. We're learning a language to communicate with other people, and so doing things socially is
exactly.
Sorry, I'm talking too much. Go on. Do you want to sign off? Nrup,
I have to finish this show now, because you guys are out of control, and I have a lesson in 5 minutes.
And Liverpool play in 5 minutes.
Oh, right. And Nrup, I bet Nrup has to learn some Latin terms for different bones, because he's studying medicine, right?
You never go. Okay, good luck.
Thank you so much. No, I think I have to cook, so I'm really hungry. I'm living the classic student life. So, yep.
Noodles.
No. I'm not the American style ramen noodles cup. No. I'm gonna cook some good food. Yep.
Some ribs.
No,
what are you having for dinner? What?
I'm gonna make some zucchini pasta.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Okay, guys. So once again, thank you again for coming on the show, and you can come back at any time, Ram, and anytime.
Thank you.
Especially when Liverpool do well, because it's always...
That's the only time I will come on, yes.
No, come on.
I'm only joking. Okay.
All right. So once again, to remind everyone, this show normally takes place every Monday at 8 p.m. Central European time, which is 7 p.m. UK time. All right. What time is it in India? Nrup, what time is it in India?
Right now it's 11:30 p.m. So 11:30 p.m. So we start at by 10:30 p.m. India, IST.
Okay, then. There you have it, from the horse's mouth. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll speak to you again soon.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.